Now we will continue with the budgetary control aspects. We will look at what are the essentials of efficient and effective budgetary control. So basically in budget we have three major components. What are the receipts, what are the payments, and what are the capital investments that are required. Before going into the essentials, we will just have a look at the different types of budgets that we generally take into consideration in the organization. So sales budget is there, selling and distribution cost budget is there, production budget is there, followed by finance budget and a master budget which includes all these budgets. Now let us take an example so that we will understand the other things also properly when we go ahead. Take the example of say IPL. So if we take the example of IPL, so there are various receipts which are there which generate the revenue for the IPL, and at the same time there are several expenditures also, and some expenditures are of the nature of capital. Now let us say our match is being planned at our Kalburgi. So IPL match coming to Kalburgi. So suddenly there has to be a budget for this. So they may look at all these things. So the sales of tickets, etc. So sales of tickets, the printing cost is there. So there will be various expenditures. And once it is printed, how are you going to ensure that people are going to purchase it? So where are the places where you are going to go and keep the tickets for sales? So there will be expenditures incurred for distribution of the ticket also. Maybe you want to develop an app and sell the tickets. So that once again will cost you something. So there are various heads which you have to ensure that you are taking into consideration each head. If you miss something, if you miss some vital part, let us say that we will go to some other aspects also. Like sales of that ticket is one thing which generates revenue. Then sales of the advertising space that is there in the stadium. Now if you just forget it, suddenly what happens? Your revenue collection expectation falls down, and your budget, which should have been positive, may appear negative because you just forgot one thing, and suddenly what happens? You begin to try to cut corners in other places. That should not happen. So we need to take into consideration all the inflows and also take into consideration all the outflows. Plus at the same time we must make a judicious decision about what should be investment for a temporary period, or that is expenditure, and what should be a capital investment. Like say for example, if I am going to conduct only one match in Kalburgi, I need not purchase the chairs which are required for different places and different seating arrangements. Maybe a rental would be more efficient. But if I am going to conduct several matches continuously in Kalburgi, then paying some 20% of the amount, cost of the equipment as rent would not be advisable if I am conducting say 4 or 5 matches. So if I am conducting 5 matches and every match I am going to pay 20% of the cost of the equipment as rent, it makes no sense. It is better I purchase them, at least I will be left with the capital cost. So this way I need to decide what should be an expenditure and what should be a capital investment. So once this is done, this has to be done for all the different areas in the organization. Like we have to take into consideration the various profit centers that are there, various expense centers that are there, and prepare a master budget for every department. And then we have to integrate all these, because to ensure budgetary control, the input and output that is going to be there, that has to be continuously monitored, and we must ensure that we are sticking to it. And there will be situations which are beyond our control, which will always have an impact on budgetary control. That is why we require to consider what are the essentials of a efficient and effective budgetary control. So let us go into it. So clear objectives are very necessary. What is the objective of that particular department? From that level towards the what is the objective of the organization, there must be total clarity. When there is that clarity is available, employees know, and they also know, okay, this is the particular aspect which I am going to control, and I have to manage it within these resources. So there will be objective. Then proper delegation. For any organization to be successful, the managers must always be focusing on the key result areas. If the manager is focusing on routine activities, then there will be the managers must focus on key result areas. If the manager is focusing on routine activities, then the planning and other functions will suffer, and the organization will not grow. It will just simply survive. So the organization's expectations is always to keep on growing, not just mere survival. There may be times when survival becomes essential, but more important than that is the focusing of the manager on the key result area. That is possible when we delegate properly. And when we have proper budget control, we have to delegate this budgeting also, because there may be some aspects with the manager sitting in his cabin may not be knowing what are the various expenditures. Let us say a production manager who is working on the floor, he knows more about the various mechanisms, machine maintenance and other things that are required which will bring in cost, rather than somebody who is above him, who is say a general manager production, who may be sitting in his AC cabin, etc. But he is there to plan, not look at his minor activities. And if we give that activity of planning the budget to the person who is sitting, assistant general manager, etc., he will not be able to do proper justice, because he doesn't know what exactly the machine requires, what frequency the machine has to be maintained, etc. So it is better that the production manager looks into that. So proper delegation is essential. Then proper communication system. See, because the budget cannot be created for the entire organization without departmentalizing it, it is essential that there must be proper coordination. Like say for example, what the sales department is doing with its budget, that is related to the purchase department also, that is also related to the production department also. If the production department is producing something and the same thing is not in the knowledge of the sales department, the sales department will not be able to do justice. At the same time, what the sales department is doing, the marketing department must know, the ad department must know. So the different departments that are there, they have to communicate with each other properly. Only when there is proper communication among the various departments, we will be able to ensure that the entire organization's budget is properly attained. Otherwise, what happens, there will be some cost overruns in some places which will affect the budget. Say for example, if something is produced and the distribution has to be done, physical distribution has to be done, and if there is problem with respect to transportation and the cost of transportation, if it suddenly escalates, what happens is the entire profit margin may be eaten away and gets eroded. So that should not happen. Therefore, there must be proper communication system which is going to coordinate between the various departments of the organization. Then knowledge of budget. If people do not know how to create a budget properly, then your entire plan itself will be flawed. So educating the employees who are going to create the budget, what budget is and how budget has to be prepared, what are the inputs that are required for budget, from where they can get the required information, and once the budget is prepared, just a pre-screening from some experts whether everything is included or not. So those things, how a budget has to be prepared, must be known to every person who is preparing the budget. And then proper participation. If we neglect people who are important, and if we do not get inputs from respective people who are important in decision making, who know about the profit centers, expense centers, key result areas, then we will miss out on a lot of information, and the budget that we are preparing may be more of a thought than actually based on facts and the circumstances of the organization. So what I need is a factual information rather than an imaginary information. For that, proper participation of the different employees is required. Then flexibility must be. If I prepare a budget and if things are moving as per the budget, it doesn't mean that it will keep on moving in the same way. Just like the situations now we are facing due to COVID. The central government had its budget, now it's all skewed up. Every family probably they had their own budget. Many families are facing budgetary problems. So even organizations, business organizations, they face it. They are facing it. They have to overcome it. So flexibility is required, because suddenly we don't know what is going to impact our business sometimes. And these are extreme situations. This comes once in a century, last 3-4 centuries. But even if we ignore this, there may be times when sudden technological changes, etc., may disrupt our business. So that is there. Apart from that, the impact our business, and therefore flexibility is required. Say, for example, we took the example initially of IPL cricket coming to Kalburgi. So suddenly when the demand for tickets may be very huge, because considering that Kalburgi stadium is very small, the number of seats that is available may be around 5,000. So 5,000 and everybody wants a VIP ticket. So that may be an opportunity for the Gulbarga Stadium, Kalburgi Stadium Association to generate lot of revenue, and they may decide all seats will be VIP seats. That flexibility to make in large money out of an opportunity, that flexibility is required. At the same time, suddenly there may be no demand because it is planned on such a day that there is festival, etc. And because of some important festival, people are not coming to the stadium. Something like that happens. Suddenly they may have to bring down the cost. We have to be flexible with respect to our budgets. So that there must be an element of motivation. See, generally what happens when you say budget, it means there is restriction, especially restriction on your outflow. Okay, what is the amount that you are going to spend? That when it is restricted, people get frustrated. Inputs, let them come as many as they come, as much as it comes, it is always welcomed by the management. But whenever amount goes out, management does not like it, one. And at the same time, when the management imposes, this is the cost limit for you, the employees feel frustrated. How should I operate in only this constraining budget? So that sometimes causes dismotivation. We must ensure that there is no dismotivation brought in, an element of motivation must be brought in, telling the employees that, see, this is the budget that we have and you are capable of doing it well within this budget. That is one thing. Plus the targets that you have been given for you in the sales, etc., that is inputs that are coming, they are very, very reasonable. You can perform far beyond this. And when you are performing beyond this, we will have surplus revenue which we can help you with other aspects also. So the way you present the budget, that can create motivation or can create dismotivation. If you are very focused only about cost and say cut the cost, cut the cost, cut the cost, employees will not be motivated. If you tell them increase revenue and then we will also increase the cost, we are flexible with the cost, then that can have a positive impact on the employees. So an element of motivation must always be there in the budgeting control methods. Then proper estimation. This is where many organizations fail. We plan one thing and then when we go to implementation, we see that the costs that we had estimated are different from what we have thought would be the cost. If you look at entrepreneurship, and in entrepreneurship we find that there is large scale of entrepreneurship failing, enterprises failing. Reason is the estimations are not correct. The estimations related to sales, the estimated related to salaries, the estimations that are related to advertising, the estimations that they make about the manpower that they require. So all these things, if there is an error, so what happens? Automatically, when the estimation is different from the reality, the control will not be effective. On the contrary, if your estimations are correct, if you get your estimations right, then it becomes comparatively very easy to attain your objectives. The control becomes easy if your estimations are good. Estimation is not 100% always. There has to be an element of flexibility, but as close to the actual figures as possible. If I can estimate it, then I can have a sound plan in advance and controlling becomes much more easier. Then proper coordination. This is very much linked to the communication. Different departments have to coordinate with each other properly. The budget of the marketing and the budget of the production, they have to be coordinated with each other. If the marketing team gets a bumper order, then accordingly the production department has to be given an increased budget for its operations. Only then they can produce more, because they have to employ the employees on a more number of hours basis or maybe more time, etc. And for that they have to pay higher wages or salaries also. So if you want more sales, you have to spend more on production. So that kind of flexibility, etc. is required, and along with that proper coordination. If we are not coordinating, one department may perform, the other department's performance may not match with it, and we may have issues with the organization between the different departments. The next comes then Next comes the proper supervision. The need for proper supervision is always there. In any control method, the supervision must be timely, and the supervision must not be an interference. It must be an intervention which is bound to create solutions, not to tell the people what their flaws are there. Okay, flaws etc. can be discussed later on, but what is required is improvement in the process, improvement in the performance. So for that, proper supervision is required. By the word proper, we mean timely, effective, efficient, and supportive, not disruptive. So when we have good supervision, budgetary control can be a good tool for overall control. Then control over the cost. This is very necessary. And management usually finds this very attractive also. When you say we are controlling cost, the management feels happy also. That is one aspect of it. You get the support of management whenever you say we are controlling the cost. That is one aspect. But the other aspect of it is, in reality also, whenever we save on any expenditure, it is, in another words, the generation of the revenue. A rupee saved is a rupee earned. So, wherever possible, it is necessary, and it is also in the interest of the organization, and it is also an efficient way to work by controlling the cost. So if we include all these aspects in our budgetary control, the budgetary control tool can be a good tool for overall controlling of the performance of the organization across all departments. So once again, we have to remember that budgetary control has to be created for across the organization in different functional areas for all the functional activities, and for each of this, if a budget is prepared, and then these budgets have to be coordinated with each other properly, and the master budget has to be prepared which takes care of the entire budget, plus there has to be an element of flexibility also, which helps us to ensure that with changing times, with changing opportunities, with changing threats, the organization is able to adjust itself, and therefore we can make budgetary control a truly useful tool. Though budgetary control is one of the traditional methods, it is still one of the most reliable methods and most commonly used methods. Right? Thank you.